For months, it was the only question that mattered. The biggest pop star on the planet and the most charismatic player in the NFL.
Right.
It felt, I don't know, almost too perfect. Too big. He had to wonder, was this just a brilliant PR move?
Everyone had a theory. I mean,
Yeah.
every blog, every commentator was trying to figure out who was behind it, who was the matchmaker.
But the real story, the one that this new docuseries confirms, is that the secret Cupid, the one who actually set this whole thing in motion, wasn't some high-powered publicist.
Oh.
It was Mama Swift.
Welcome to StarScope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and the true stories behind the fame.
And today, our mission is to do a deep dive into these, frankly, shocking revelations from the new Disney Plus docuseries, Taylor Swift. The end of an era.
We're going to unpack the true origin story of the Swift-Kelce romance and then get into the music that came out of it, the album, The Life of a Showgirl.
Okay, let's get into it. This is a huge shift in the narrative we all thought we knew.
It really is.
Yeah.
So let's start with the big reveal. It's in episode 4 of the docuseries, which is called Thank You for the Lovely Bouquet.
Mm-hmm.
And it confirms that the public story, the one that started with Travis Kelce at the Eras Tour in 2023, that was really just the beginning.
Right, we all remember that. He goes to the show at Arrowhead, he makes a friendship bracelet with his number on it.
And then he talks about being disappointed he couldn't give it to her on his podcast, New Heights.
Which was so, charming and relatable, and that's what kicked it all off in the public eye.
But the real move, the one that actually mattered, happened behind the scenes.
Way behind the scenes.
The docuseries shows this really candid conversation filmed in October 2024 between Taylor and her mom, Andrea.
And Andrea says she saw those headlines about the friendship bracelet.
Yeah, and she just thought the whole gesture was, quote, really sweet. It was that sincerity that kind of stuck with her.
But here's where it gets wild. She didn't just think it was sweet and move on. She actually, launched a full-on background check.
She did. A proper vetting process. She decided that, given Taylor's past, any new relationship needed more than just a cute story.
So she calls her cousin, Robin.
Who just so happens to be a huge Kansas City Chiefs expert.
Of course. And what Robin reports back is basically the ultimate green light for any mom.
She says 2 things. 1, that Travis is the nicest guy.
Yeah.
And 2, and this was the absolute key for Andrea,
Yeah.
he's the one who really loves his mom.
Oh, wow. That's it. That is the seal of approval. The irony here is just incredible.
Totally.
The whole world was debating if this was some manufactured corporate romance.
Right, a PR stunt.
And in reality, it was started by the most old-fashioned thing in the world. A mom's intuition and some family vetting.
It just shows you the level of emotional protection around Taylor. For someone who's lived her entire adult life in the spotlight, trust has to be earned in a really, really specific way.
So that approval sets the stage. But even with her mom's green light, Taylor says in the docuseries she was still hesitant.
Yeah, she was worried about dating an athlete. Like, what would they even have in common on a deeper level?
Which is so understandable. But Travis had a plan for that first date, and this is where it gets really interesting. He found the perfect analogy.
The violent chess analogy.
Exactly. He explained football to her, but he framed it as violent chess. And for her, as a strategist, that just immediately sparked her curiosity. It wasn't about brute force. It was about intellect and strategy.
That is just brilliant. He's speaking her language. He's showing her that his world is just as complex and strategic as hers.
And it worked. She says in the docuseries she became, quote, obsessed with him and then obsessed with learning about football, the greatest surprise of my life.
And that's the core of it, really. The source material draws this incredibly sharp line between him and her previous partners.
Oh, yeah. Thinking of Joe Alwyn, Maddie Healy, guys who clearly were not comfortable with that level of fame.
Right. But Travis is what she calls a yes guy. He thrives in the spotlight. He's not afraid of it.
And that quote from her is so powerful. The moment's never too big for Travis. The lights are never too bright for Travis.
That's the security she needed. Someone who could exist in her world without shrinking. And the docuseries shows he backed it up. Andrea called him one of the happiest individuals she'd ever met.
And the flowers. He sent flowers to almost every single show on the Eras Tour.
That kind of consistent, thoughtful effort is what made the difference. It's what fans saw. And it's why she says, ultimately, is the way he treats me. He's very lovable.
And that feeling, that security, it leads directly to their engagement in August 2025. And of course, it completely fuels the new music.
And if you are loving these deep dives into how all this Hollywood machinery really works, you should definitely make sure you're subscribed. because the music side of the story is just as wild,
Okay, so that brings us to the album, her 12th studio album, The Life of a Showgirl.
which came out October 3rd, 2025. And it's not just another album. It was framed as a soft pop, soft rock victory lap.
And crucially, it's her reunion with her biggest pop producers, Max Martin and Shellback.
Yeah, that is a huge deal. This is the team behind 1989 and Reputation. After all that time in the, indie folk woods with Folklore and Evermore, bringing them back was a massive statement. It was her saying, I'm happy, I'm confident, and I'm back in the stadium.
The era of quiet contemplation is over, and you can trace this newfound joy through, 4 key tracks on the album.
For sure. So let's start with the opener, the lead single, The Fate of Ophelia.
Right, which takes this tragic Shakespearean character and just completely flips the narrative. It's about being rescued from melancholy.
And the lyrics are so direct. She sings, I heard you calling on the megaphone, which is a clear reference to the New Heights podcast.
It's not subtle at all. She's basically saying he saved her. And if you'd never come for me, I might have drowned in the melancholy.
It's an incredible declaration to open an album with.
Then you get Opalite, which is just such a sweet personal detail.
Because opal is his birthstone.
Exactly. And she uses it as this metaphor for happiness. She said that since opalite is a man-made stone, it symbolizes that you can, create your own happiness.
I love that. It's about agency. You don't have to wait for a fairy tale. You can build it. And the chorus is just pure joy. But now, the sky is opalite. Oh, 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 oh.
Okay, then we have to talk about track 5, Eldest Daughter.
The classic track 5 spot. She's the oldest sibling, he's the youngest, and she sings about that dynamic.
The line that broke the internet is, when I said I don't believe in marriage, that was a lie.
I mean, talk about a seismic shift. That one line confirms everything about how much this relationship changed her perspective on the future.
And then she spells out that future on the last track we'll mention, with Littler.
This is where it gets really domestic. She's dreaming about a driveway with a basketball hoop.
And she's explicit about wanting a family. The lyric is, I just want you, huh? Have a couple kids. Got the whole block looking like you.
Wow. It's the ultimate contentment. Trading global fame for a quiet, private life.
And commercially, this album was just an absolute monster.
Oh, the numbers are just staggering. It debuted at #1 with 4 million units in the first week. 4 million.
And the entire album, all 12 tracks, took over the top 12 spots on the Billboard Hot 100.
A complete and total domination.
And yet, despite all that success, the album was really polarizing with critics, wasn't it?
It absolutely was. A lot of them found the sound, a bit unremarkable. They felt it lacked the emotional depth of her recent work.
They missed the melancholy, basically.
It did. And some really didn't like her use of internet slang or the more sexually suggestive lyrics, especially on a track called Wood.
So it's this classic clash, right? Massive commercial success versus a more mixed critical response.
Exactly. And she kind of addresses it in the docuseries. She defends her happiness, but basically ends with this confident shrug saying, I welcome the chaos.
I love that. The truth is, the joy she found just demanded a different sound, a brighter one.
It did. And, the biggest takeaway from this whole docuseries for me isn't just about the relationship. It's about the sheer scale of her fame.
The logistics are insane.
I mean, the detail about her running 8 miles a night on tour in heels.
And the costume thing. The fact that they literally ran out of the fabric for her black sequin bodysuits worldwide.
Right. They had to commission a company to make more from scratch.
Right.
That's not just fame. That's like global resource management.
Which brings us to the final thought. If her personal life required this much careful planning from her mom, and her wardrobe required this level of logistical oversight, it makes you wonder, is this extreme level of strategic execution just the new baseline for being a global superstar? Is there any room left for spontaneity?
And is that why the music felt less vulnerable to some? Because the happiness itself was so protected, so hard-won, that there just wasn't as much space left for the chaos she used to write about.
Something to think about.
You've been listening to StarScope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture.
Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.